that I'm a very simple girl and I belong to a Maharashtrian family. I speak Marathi. It's my mother tongue is Marathi, and I have come in teaching profession. I am working currently as associate professor in Government College of Pharmacy, Karad, which is in Maharashtra state in India. And I have chosen this profession because I like it, because I adore it since my childhood days. So, to tell you in a nutshell, my father he was in teaching profession. He retired as principal of Government Engineering College, and my mother is MA in classical music, Indian classical music. So I think that my family, like all, is a very versatile family. I have a elder sister who is a doctor. My younger brother is a doctorate in engineering. He has done his engineering from Boston, and here I am. Okay, I am a protected girl. My sister protects me. My brother protects me, and we are a very simple family. We have valued honesty. Okay? Honesty is the most important thing. We feel that is important to cherish and to nourish. And this profession, the profession of pharmacy, I entered is by choice. I could have got admission in medical, in engineering, but by choice I came here because right from the beginning, since my childhood days, I had some affinity in chemistry. So I thought that something related to chemistry, something related to this particular field, I should explore. Because see, chemistry is present in everyday life. We are using all the things which are of chemical origin. Even our human body is made up of chemicals. Like if we talk in our language, like it is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. When a person dies, the person converts into elemental form. So there was something like a mystery. I had to explore this thing. So it is by choice. I had some attraction, and fortunately, during my graduation studies, I have done my graduation in Bachelor in Pharmacy in from Aurangabad, and I had one teacher, Dr. Anna Nikarje, who actually inspired me a lot to pursue my career in this particular field, chemistry. So since I belong to pharmacy profession, the type of chemistry which I have studied is medicinal chemistry, pharmaceutical chemistry, and organic chemistry. So Anna ma'am was teaching us organic chemistry, and she could explain in a very lucid style ki chemistry, where it is involved. It is involved everywhere. She could explain how salicylic acid is converted into aspirin. Look, aspirin, it's a big blockbuster drug. Everybody, nearly 90% of people, they are on aspirin. Ecosprin, we call it popularly Ecosprin. So that time, she told very fluently ki how salicylic acid is converted to aspirin, and how do we prepare paracetamol, and what is the curly arrow approach. So that actually created curiosity in my mind. And that time in my second year itself, I made it a point that no, I have to do my post graduation in chemistry. So when I got admitted in my post graduation in a place called as NDMVP College of Pharmacy, Nasik, through the graduate aptitude test. Okay, it's a national level exam. So I qualified that, and chemistry, actually pharmaceutical chemistry, post graduation in this particular specialization, it is not considered to be a very prestigious thing. The prestigious one is considered to be pharmaceutics. So even I could have got pharmaceutics and other high ranking specializations, but still I took pharmaceutical chemistry by choice. So then my train it's set up with full speed, and finally I did my doctorate from SRTM University, Nanded, and I got the doctorate degree in 2006. Then after 3 years, I got a recognized. I was given recognition by Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, as a PhD guide, and also I'm a recognized PhD guide from SRTM University, Nanded, and now I've applied in the Kolhapur University. So that is not important that I am a doctorate, but I just want to do my research in the field of chemistry. I want to do research so that the research can reach the socio-economic, areas of the country. My research should do at least a little bit difference in their lives. That is what is my target is. My target is not actually to only build myself. Okay, it should be at the consumer end. I should do something so that the common man is getting benefited by it. So that is all I wish to say. I am highly influenced by my parents. My father has been my godfather always. He has been a friend, philosopher, and guide to me always, and he is still there. Fortunately, I'm blessed to have both my parents with me. And lately, I've been transferred for, say, 4 months back. I've been transferred to Karad. Previously, I was in Aurangabad, and since this is a state government college, so we are bound to have transfers. So my father has instilled such qualities in me that I can stand any type of difficulties. I can overcome any type of fear, and whatever difficulties they come in my path, I can handle it very easily. So with the years, I have attained confidence. So I'm happy and I'm very satisfied with what I'm having. With what the little and what the more I'm having, I'm very happy.
Okay. Any specific incidents I don't remember, but I remember my our father, taking us to science exhibitions. Okay, taking us to Mumbai, taking us to Nehru Planetarium. Then we used to visit different places. We used to go to Delhi, and we actually he tried to expose us to many of the things. And he used to tell us he is very fond of cooking. So when mother used to make curd, he used to tell us, look how curd is formed and what is happening, and see the lactobacillus are getting cultured in the milk, and how the milk is thickening. So like everyday examples he used to tell us during a regular course, and that actually fascinated me. I remember how curd is formed, he has told me. And even my mother used to tell many things. So that's it. I don't remember specific incidents, but I remember going to Nehru Planetarium. I remember going to science exhibitions. He used to motivate us in school. We were actually in Holy Cross English School in Amravati, and he used to, like, the whole school was a pure convent school, and it was run by nuns. So the school was extremely strict, and they used to hold science exhibitions, and we used to prepare like hell. We prepared more meticulously, more than exams, also giving exams. So there actually he motivated us to do many things. Actually, pharmaceutical chemistry is an extension of organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is dealing with only the chemicals which are present in nature, which are prepared by human beings, and so on. But pharmaceutical chemistry, it links the organic chemistry to the pharmacology. Pharmacology deals with what is happening in our body, how the drugs they act in our body. So with the teachings of Dr. Anna ma'am, I actually it created my interest in understanding a higher, somewhat deeper knowledge, getting a deeper knowledge about when a drug is a chemical, right? Medicine or drug is a chemical. When it goes into the body, how it will exert its biological activity. Suppose if a drug is going to be used in a congestive heart failure, so when the drug it goes to the heart, suppose through the blood circulation, how it will how it will cause a vasodilation. That is pharmacology. But if we are going to study pharmaceutical chemistry, then we should know the chemical structure of the drug, right? And how the structure of the drug will bind to which type of receptor, and how it will have its best fitting into the receptor, and how it will act the have that particular activity. That actually it created curiosity ki, why these things and how these things should happen in our body. And that promoted me to choose this particular subject. So it is an extension of organic chemistry. Actually, they have instilled the first important thing as honesty, and then they instill that you have to be consistent in whatever you do. Like you will not always get things right and ready made. You have to go after it. You have to do hard work and all those things. Even if success doesn't come to you, it doesn't mean that you are not successful. We always say that failure is like one step towards success and all those things, but practically speaking, they told that you have to be consistent and don't go for the results. Whatever the result come, you are going one step ahead always. So they have always told me to be honest, to be true to yourself. Don't do anything in your career, don't do anything in your profession so that you could not sleep at night peacefully. That is the only thing they always say, ki don't do anything rubbish, don't hurt anyone. Okay, that is okay if we don't hurt and all those things, but at least you should be able to sleep peacefully at night. And that is it. That covers, I think, every virtue and every part of a personality which every parent wants his or her child to be. Yeah, she's actually she's a classical dancer. She's a vocalist also, and she has done masters in Indian classical music. So I am also like her. As a hobby, I am actually giving the fifth exam of Indian classical music. So I am into Madhyama exam. I'm giving, and I am a fan of Indian classical music. So as a hobby, I'm pursuing it. Now this part is settled. Now I'm going to be happy, more happy. So she is also like she has told me how to do meditation. She is a like people say no, music is making us very very near to God. Okay, and she is a very good person who does pranayam, then meditation, and I also do the same thing. So I am actually, I consider myself a best combination of my father and mother. My father is like every person is having a negative side. He is a bit he is impatient in many things. So I think that the patience which I'm having has been instilled from my mother. And my sister, I haven't told you about my sister, but she is the rock of our family, and she is a hard rock. She is a hard nut to be cracked, and she is a doctor, of course. So by profession, doctors are very hard people. They don't have that much emotions, or they can control the emotions. So she is the strong pillar of our family, and whatever boldness, whatever confidence has been created in me, it has been because of mostly of my sister. Because during my pubertal age, during my adolescent age, she was the only person who was very close to me. And whatever culture the parents imbibed, the next culture imbibed was by my sister. And she made me the best version of myself to face the world. So the credit also goes to her. The lows actually were basically when I was in a adolescent age. Okay. uh, I was actually during my adolescent age, I was bullied by many people because I was not that much confident. So that was one of the low which I had faced. Bullied by seniors from the school, not in the college. In the college I was better, but I used to be introvert because of the bullying purpose and all, dominating and all those things. I used to be like extremely introvert person. I didn't used to mingle with my friends, even though I was better looking. among my classmates, but still, the gender discrimination, and then the boys filling for you and making all those remarks. So, because of those things, I got introvert. And then my sister, she actually made me out of that situation. So that was one of the low which I had faced, and you can count it under the gender discrimination also. And the high which I had faced uh, in my life are many, because over the years I got matured, and I try to remember only the highs in my life, so that I am always on the high side. So the most the happiest moment of my life was to see my mother alive when in 2005 she underwent a bypass operation. She had a very massive heart attack, and she could withstand it, and doctors had lost hope, and still she survived. And that was the happiest moment in my life. And to talk about the professional career, the happiest moment was when I got the doctorate degree. So I think, as per myself, the highest qualification a person should have is doctorate. Although there are many postdoctorates available, but I will never pursue it, because my priorities have changed now. And I am hoping to make the world a better place, rather than doing all the core research. I want to extend my research to such an extent that it should be helpful to the basic common man. So that was the one of the highs and lows in my life. When I applied for Maharashtra Public Service Commission, MPSC, after my post graduation, after my masters in pharmacy, I actually gave the exam, government exam, and I just gave it. Like, I never thought that I could have been selected, and this is my future and all those things. I basically wanted to join an industry in the research and development department, and I had given 2 3 interviews. I got selected in one of the industries. And then this MPSC ad, it came. And my father told ki, give and just see what happens. That is not your, but I really wanted to join teaching profession. But then there was no good college available, so I gave industries interviews in industries. Then fortunately I got selected in the interview also. And I joined the government college of pharmacy with Aurangabad as my first posting. And in 2000 I joined Aurangabad. And that time, Dr. Chitra Kulkarni ma'am was one of the senior faculty in that college. And she is like a godmother to me. And she had a very good influence, a massive and good influence on my personality. So during my start of my career, she was the person who had mentored me, who had told me many things. And now she's retired, but I would also like to tell her through this video that I really admire her, and I will admire her till my end, until the doomsday. So she was my first mentor. She is my first mentor. And then over the period when I got some experience, say after 3 4 years, likewise, there's one faculty, Dr. PK Puranik, Dr. Prashant Puranik sir. He is now in the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Nagpur. And he actually told me how to do the administrative work in teaching. Because when you gain experience and you are a government servant, you have to handle many administrative responsibilities also, in besides teaching. So teaching is not the only job a government officer does, but you have to handle many administrative duties, like you have to do scrutiny, you have to go to higher offices, and you have to see, suppose if I want to buy some instrument, I want to buy instrument to my college, then I am the best person who will understand the specifications of that instrument. So I have to go to that place, higher office, and then I have to sit among the dealers, and I have to say ki, I have to prove myself this particular instrument is the best. So technically speaking, in technical language I have to prove. So these things are a part and parcel of any teaching person in government. And besides that, there are many duties which have been assigned to us, like going for the UPSC exams. I've been a coordinator for UPSC exams also. Then venue officer, then conducting CET exams. So lot of national exams and other duties of the state as well as central government are assigned to us. So Dr. Puranik, he was a key person to actually tell me how it works and what are the things uh, which you should do and how you should do. So he told me the administrative all these things. And later on, after a few years, Dr. VK Maurya, is my teacher. He is a very good philosopher also, and he was my teacher in my masters, in my MPharm, masters in pharmacy in Nasik. And then later on, I got close to him. He actually told me the philosophy of life. He made me more mature. He told me how to make decisions and how to keep your values intact. And keeping your values intact, how to make decision. He was a principal in Aurangabad. Now he has retired. So these three people, I think, they have created a very good impact on my personality. Okay, as I've told you, ma'am, that the happiest moment was one of the happiest moment was getting a doctorate degree, because that is considered to be the highest qualification in my profession. And besides that, on personal front, I wish to tell you that I have one daughter and one son. And my daughter is in she's studying dentistry. She is in second year of BDS course, and my son is in 8th standard. So in 2009, actually, when I gave birth to my son, of course, giving birth to my daughter, the first child is always precious and very special for all of us. But I was not actually getting conceived after, say, my daughter. So it took nearly 7 years for me to have a second child. And when I was uh, detected pregnant, that time in in my last trimester, I was detected with diabetes. So that actually shocked me. It was a very alarming situation. And then I was on insulin. I used to take insulin, a lot of insulin, 78 units I used to take. And then the fear factor in me, that how my baby will be after birth, because a diabetic child, very complications are there. That actually I read the book, The Secret of Success by Rhonda Bryan. And then I did manifestations and all those things. I did all the exercise. I do it now also. And when I gave birth, I could literally see my son, how I manifested him. So that was the eureka moment for me. And I was actually sedated a lot, but I didn't go to sleep before seeing my child's face and all everything, like. So that was a eureka moment from my personal front, because it was of through all hardships it had come, no. So that was a very big moment for me. Yeah. The research work which I am undertaking, or which is my particular area, the actually social impact is related to any particular disease. Suppose if I am working on a project related to cancer, then my drug or my compounds, the novel compounds which I am preparing in my laboratory, they are compared with a traded drug. Suppose I have actually I have undertaken a project related to treating a CML, like chronic myelogenous leukemia. It's a type of leukemia which is prevalent in many children. So this particular CML containing drug is called as imatinib. Imatinib is a blockbuster drug to treat CML. So if my new compounds, they are better than imatinib, then it would naturally create a difference in the market. Okay, and I believe that if you make a medicine, it should directly target that to that particular organ. If it is a leukemia, it should go into the bloodstream directly. If it is related to lung cancer, it should directly go to the lungs. So a targeted therapy is my lookout always during the research. So if so in this particular project, I have prepared many new drugs, many new compounds, okay, which can be used as leads. Lead means a leader. The leader can be used to prepare different medicines by industries. So what research I'm doing is a basic research, because of the limitations, because of the other things which are prevalent in the academic institution labs. These are not that much sophisticated as the labs of industry. So we are into basically a research which will give some of the lead compounds which can be further modified to make more better medicines than the existing drugs like imatinib. So actually, we have got success in this particular project. We could prepare three compounds, three chemical compounds, which are better than imatinib, because this imatinib, it will bind to a particular enzyme which is called as tyrosine kinase, and this particular imatinib is binding. Suppose it is having a binding affinity of XYZ, some value, and our compounds, what compounds, three compounds we have targeted, these are having much better binding affinity than the traded drug imatinib. So I think that this particular thing can finally make a difference in the cancer market. Yeah. Success actually is the sum of all efforts which we put day in and day out. These are small things which we do, which will finally lead to success. And according to me, failure is nothing. You shouldn't worry about it. If the things are not getting your way, we say that it is failure, but failure is not failure. I think that in my dictionary, failure is not a word which is existing. Okay. Yeah, definitely I would like to share the lessons which I have learned from my journey. During the start, I was a bit impatient. I used to I used to judge a person immediately if the person speaks a few words, and like on the face and all those things. But now, over the period, I've become more mature, and I judge a person, you know on the basis of the past deeds also and the current also. Like, I have started to forgive and forget. That is the most important thing which I have learned. And I now forgive the other person who has troubled me, because I want to get free from that. So I want to be getting freedom from that particular bad thing. That is why I forgive that person. So I believe in forgive and forget thing. And I believe that whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve by manifestation. Because many things I've achieved by manifestation. I imagine things, I put it to my heart, and I see, no, thoughts become things. That is what is my motto always. Ki what you think, you become. Okay. The younger generation, would like to give one message to the young girls or the young women who are pursuing their career, or who are about to begin their career. I want to give one message to them, that don't be more specific. People have become more focused, right? So being focused is a good thing, but being too focused is not a good thing at all. People have become more choosy. People have become like, no, in this particular field I would like to do this super specialization after 10 years. You cannot judge. This is not the particular right time where you can tell that you're going to flourish in this or not. Many things are understood during the journey. Before the journey, you cannot say no, कि this particular thing will end here, this particular thing will not end here. So I would like to give message that don't stay too much focused. They leave some blind spot, okay, and let the nature take care of it. You will become more mature, you will change along the journey like me, and you may think, no, this is the right thing which I have done. So let the time take care of the things. Don't be too prejudiced early in the beginning. whoever I am paying forward to my next generation, what I have instilled, what qualities I have instilled from my mentors, I am 100% doing the same to the younger generation. But the younger generation is a bit different from where we used to be the younger generations before. So naturally the way of doing it, it has changed. You have to be more empathetic. Okay, you have to be showing empathy. You have to put yourself into their shoes, and then you have to go into their hearts, and then you have to do everything. So when I talk to my final year students, or when I talk to my postgraduate students, I usually tell them that consistency is the only thing which pays. It is not your it is not your intellect. It is only the consistency which is going to help you to shine in your path, in your career. And uh, I tell them to be in touch with the older people, take care of the older generation, because they have a lot of experience, and experience is the best teacher always. So far I have got experience, so I have realized that experience is the best teacher, and your virtues change. Sustainable, I am living a sustainable life. In fact, I have started to make my life more sustainable by doing small things. Like previously, I used to go to different big malls, and I used to buy all those things, stuff and all those things, all the frozen, all those things. And I used to buy the vegetables also. But now I am in Karad, and Karad is a place which is not even a district. It is coming under Gram Panchayat. So fortunately, I'm blessed to have a very small market here. And frequently, like alternate day, I go to the vegetable market. I buy fruits, I buy vegetables from directly from the farmers. The state of farmers is a very sorry state in India, in especially in Maharashtra. So I use organic, purely organic. And I have ozonizer at my home. In case if there is any like insecticide or pesticide sprayed, I directly put it in ozonizer, and then I use it. So I try to use organic things. Then in my garden in Aurangabad, I have prepared a big bin of compost, and I prepare the manure there. And we put all the biodegradable junk and waste of the house, and we use it as a manure. So these small things I am trying to do, but still I know that I'm lacking behind, and I wish to try more things. The legacy which I want to leave behind is not to make my clones. I don't want to make my clones. I want to make the future generation which will have their own thoughts, but at the same time, they should be encompassing the thoughts of their higher generation. They should be taking the advice of the higher generation. But of course, the next generation should be more intellectual, and more society beneficial kind of thing. So they should not be like goody to themselves. They should be giving something to the society, which now it is extremely lacking. I would give the message to the younger Mayura, if I go back in time, that don't worry, you are going to be all right in future. Now that I'm transferred to Karad, I am missing my family a lot, because I am here alone. And when I get up, I always remember that no, I'm getting up in my bedroom, in my house. And now I'm going to the other room to see my children sleeping, and husband on my beside me. And I'm into that particular manifestation. I'm doing manifestation in early morning. So I am actually very happy in the morning, because I am doing it. No, I'm imagining it, so I'm happy. I'm always happy in the morning. For self care, actually, I'm a religious kind of person. I believe in mantras, and I recite in Marathi we call it as jap. Okay, so I the beads. Okay, I do the mantras. I do it 108 times per cycle of bead. And during my recitation of mantras, I meditate also. So this is the self care I take. This is a mental self care I take. And of course, for physical fitness, I do walking. I do brisk walking for 1 hour. Since I am a diabetic person, so I have to do it and I enjoy it. And then I listen to music, I listen to my guru's lessons and all those things. And I'm very happy. I'm settled while I do these activities also. Okay, I would like to quote one mantra of Ram Raksha, which I usually recite when I am under stress. I would like to quote that. रामो राजमणि सदा विजयते रामम रमेशम भजे रामेणाभियता निशाचरचमो रामाय तस्मै नमः. So this particular quote, it actually takes care of the whole Ram Raksha. Ram Raksha basically is protecting your body, protecting your physical body, protecting your astral body from all the devil and all from all the difficulties and all the bad things. So this particular mantra, if you recite, it will cover all the Ram Raksha, and it is also going to cover Vishnu Sahasranam. It is Vishnu Sahasranam is the biggest. It is the longest mantra in the medieval times. So it takes care of all these things. So I recite that. The turning point of my life is my marriage. So I haven't talked about it, but it is a very pleasant turning point, I could say. Uh, it actually connected two families together. The two families, our family and my in-laws family, we were already connected, but unfortunately I never didn't met my husband because he was in Mumbai and I was doing my post graduation in Nasik. And then our dads, they were knowing each other. And one fine day, it's okay, we had a program, a typical program of arranged marriage, because I could not find anybody and he could not find anybody. So a meeting was put up, and there the bell rang. So that was one of the pleasant turning points of my life. Actually, actually, this discipline word, my family teases me with this word. They call me discipline, discipline always, because my kids also. I want everything perfect. No, you must be knowing there is one syndrome in psychology. It is called obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. It is called OCD. So OCD is the last version of being disciplined, which thankfully I am not. But to talk about it, you must be knowing the film star heroine, Deepika Padukone. She's suffering from OCD. She has declared. So my family, they always tell me, don't be like Deepika, and they tease me that she is having OCD. You don't be like that, too much discipline, so that you'll also suffer from OCD. Like if you lock if you put a lock on your in your house, no, you will go again and see it whether it is locked or not. That is called OCD. So I am not that much, but I am disciplined.